Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be looking at stretches that I do that help me with my splits. You can also do these stretches if you want to get your front splits. Now the first stretches I like to do is this half split rocks. What it does is that it warms up my hamstring, it warms up my leg all the way up to my glutes and my hips. Guys, you can do this by inhaling and exhaling, going in and rocking in as much as you can. Now guys, it is very important for you to try to breathe and extend as much as possible, because hip opening and front splits and middle splits, they all work around the hip flexors and the hamstrings, so it's important for you to really warm up well. The second pose I like to practice or stretch is this low lunge stretch all the way to my upper body. This is like a total body warm up for what is to come. After I'm done with that side, I'm going to switch over to the other side, lean into it and do the half split rocks again. Now guys, you have the option of trying to sit in it longer or just rocking in and out. When you sit in the half splits longer, it helps your hamstring warm up. It also helps your glutes, but like rocking in and out just has a way of warming everything together and allowing your body to be familiar with all the movements you're supposed to be making in the front split. Now guys, after rocking in and out again, we're going to try to stay there longer, stretching as much as we can, and then just being present with how you're feeling and not forgetting to breathe. You have to breathe. The breathing is what propels the pose. The breathing is what allows you to really stay in the pose longer. So guys, after rocking for a few seconds, I'm going to go to the low crescent, to the low lunge again, extending and stretching as much as I can. So guys, you can do this for a long period of time, or you can go, take it slow, like go shorter or whatever works for you. Guys, the next stretch that I like to practice before I try my front split is this variation of the high lizard. Now the high lizard is a hip opener, just like any other hip opener. It is quite intense, but it targets primarily the hip flexors. It also targets the quads and it targets the glute. So high lizard is that pose, and if you want to add a little bit of life and energy, you can try this rotation before going into the low lizard variation, where your knee is on the mat and your toes are flat on the mat. So guys, the low lizard kind of takes it a little bit further. It kind of pushes the practice forward for you to really feel the rocks you were doing before. Another variation I like to practice is the twisting lizard, where I'm reaching for the soles of my feet at the other end while keeping the leg in the lizard position. So guys, you can stay here for as long as you want, or you can try to extend, but just allow yourself to really observe what you're doing. And so guys, we're going to try to repeat it on the other side. High lizard. Now you see what it looks like on the other side, where you're rocking into the hips, you're warming up those hamstrings, you're warming up those glutes, and you're warming up those quads. After a while, we're going to stay there for a while and just rock in and out, and then slowly drop into the low lizard variation. In this position, you want to breathe in and breathe out and just allow yourself to extend forward again, hinging around your knees and your hips. So guys, this low lizard variation, it's a little bit deep, so it's important for you to take it slow and really be warmed up. And now guys, we can see the twisting lizard variation, where the hips are a little bit apart and the legs are being stretched in opposite direction. This warms up your inner thighs and really your thighs, and really prepares you for the pose you are about to do. Now guys, remember that you can stay as long as you want, or you can begin to come out, and then we're going to try the next pose that I really like to practice, which is half pigeon. Half pigeon is a hip opener on its own. You can decide to really surrender in it by curving one leg and extending. When you extend your hands and the other leg is backwards, make sure your whole body weight, your hip, is over that leg. What it does is that it just has a way of helping you to lengthen out the hips and just be there. You can either warm up there by lengthening out, or you can lift up your head and just lifting up in this high half pigeon variation, where you're stretching your chest and extending even more. So guys, half pigeon is that pose that you should practice. You should incorporate it into your hip openings routines, your leg stretches. For your middle splits and your half splits too, it's a very good pose because of the way it stretches the body and the way it targets those hip flexors and the way it helps you to get rid of hip tension, and it also strengthens the leg. So half pigeon is that pose that I like to go, because once you warm up in half pigeon, it just allows you to be able to really open your hips even more, and just allows you to see how far you can extend. So guys, I definitely recommend having half pigeon applied to your practice before trying the middle split or the front split in this case. So guys, extend again, lifting up your chest and allowing your hips to just be a little bit lifted up, inhaling and exhaling. Extend as much as you can. And if you're somebody that always feels like backache and all that, you can also try this variation. It helps a little bit, stretching the lower back and the spine. So guys, there are a whole lot of other poses you can practice to improve your middle splits and your front splits. The next pose I like to practice is the frog pose. Now guys, the frog pose is a hip opener that allows gravity to act on your hips while your knees are apart. So guys, it is quite advanced, so it's very important you take it slow and you breathe through it. While you're in your frog pose, it's important for you to breathe, engage your core, and just allow your legs to face the opposite direction. It kind of prepares your inner thighs for what is to come for the front split, and it just has a way of warming your leg up too. And another thing is that the frog pose has so many benefits in extending your hips. The next pose I like to practice is this happy baby to extended wide leg fold. Now guys, as much as you want to get your split, this whole routine of going from happy baby like this and extending into wide legs is a very good pose to practice. It warms up your inner thighs, your groin, all the way stretching to your hamstrings and then your heels. I like to practice it because it just gives me this instant warm up after practicing the other poses, because it just it helps you target those muscles that you cannot really reach when you are sitting or when you are on your side. Another one I like to practice is the wiper. So with my legs, I go side to side, wiping side to side and wiping. So guys, you can decide to rock side to side after warming up by doing one leg at a time. This one just helps to lengthen out the side, especially the adductors and the abductors. And then guys, I'm going to go back to the extended leg, a wide leg, and then happy baby, where I'm stretching side to side and I'm just allowing myself to really stretch as much as I can. After doing that in that reclined position, I'm going to go to pancakes. And in the pancakes, I like to start out with wide leg seated fold, where my legs are in opposite direction, almost like a middle split, and then I bow forward in forward fold. After staying for a while, I'm going to extend my leg and try to rock in and out before going into the pancakes. Once I get to the pancakes, I try to sit in by drawing my core in and allowing my hips to open. You can do this by extending your hand, or by pointing your toes, or by stretching the center of your legs. Now guys, when you do this, it just allows you to go as flat as possible, and it also allows you to really prepare for the split. Now guys, before I practice the split, those poses are things I primarily have to practice until I get down. It makes the split very easy, it makes you very warmed up, and it makes it really safe for you to practice the split. So guys, remember that you should practice on both sides. So if you only do your front split on your right leg, that leg is going to be stronger and is going to be more flexible than your left leg. So remember to always do the split on both sides. Once you finish practicing on the right, try and adjust yourself and do the same thing on the left hand side. When you do that on both sides, it gives you that edge, that flexibility, and it allows you to warm both sides up, and a good way of finding balance between the two sides of your hips. So guys, I hope you really enjoyed this video, and I hope that you learned one or two things on how to, if you're a beginner, to really start your hip opening journey and getting your front split. And if you're at intermediate, you found some more poses to add in order to practice your split. And if you're advanced too, you can still have one or two things added in order for you to improve your split. So guys, remember to give this video a thumbs up, like it, share it, and I'll see you in my next video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because every new week a new video is dropping. Bye.